बना के मुझको मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया। अंधेरे घर में किसी ने हंस के चिराग जैसे जला दिया। किसी ने अपना बना के मुझको मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया। कुछ न बोली, शर्म के मारे मैं कुछ न बोली, नजर ने पर्दा गिरा दिया। मगर वो सब कुछ समझ गए कि दिल की मैंने गंवा दिया। किसी ने अपना बना के मुझको मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया। जो ख्वाब रातों में भी न आया, वो मुझको दिन में दिखा दिया। किसी ने अपना बना के मुझको मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया। भरते हैं जिंदगी में, वो रंग भरते हैं जिंदगी में, बदल रहा है मेरा जहां। कोई सितारे लुटा रहा था, किसी ने दामन दिखा दिया। किसी ने अपना बना के मुझको मुस्कुराना सिखा दिया। अंधेरे घर में किसी ने हंस के चिराग जैसे जला दिया।
Okay.
Om Shanti. Today we have Tina Ben, who shall be conducting the Avyakt Murli. Over to you, Tina Ben.
Thank you, Ami Ben. Good morning, everyone. Om Shanti, and very happy Holi. The song also says that somebody has made me belong to himself, and I am now colored in his color, right? And so Baba today in the Murli is really talking about how we have come having this awakened, this fortune of happiness just by the awareness of who I am, and that faith that I am God's child and I am a self-sovereigner, balak or malik, ye do baatein Baba kehte, iska jab aapko nischay hai. And that faith brings that intoxication, and that intoxication brings a lot of happiness. And this is what was in yesterday's Avyakt Murli as well. So Baba is really talking about that Brahmin life is a life of happiness. Your life itself means happiness. So if I don't experience happiness, that means something is dot, 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 right? You have to check what it is. So let's see. At the end of this Murli, you should be able to answer some of these questions. Who is Brahmin? Baba is defining it today for us in more simple terms, but also the whole Murli revolves around being a charitable soul. The lot of characteristics that you can recognize within yourself, and give yourself numbers according to those, how much of your account of charity can be increased, and based on that you can call yourself as a charitable soul. And then what is Baba Shrimat for happiness? And lastly, what is tapasya? So we'll see all of this. Yeah. So I will request Amiben to please screen the Murli.
Yes, yes, sister.
Okay, so let's see. In Baba's words, this Murli was originally spoken on 4th of October 1991, which was also declared as the year of Tapasya. And the essence or the title of the Murli is, in order to be seated on the heart throne and the throne of the world, give happiness and receive happiness. If I am seated on Baba's heart throne, automatically I will be seated on the throne of the world. And so, one of the basic quality for that, Baba is saying, you're my child, so you should give happiness and receive happiness. Today, the master of the world is seeing his children, who are the children, Balak, and the masters, Malik. All children are at present masters of themselves. And in other births too, they are masters of the world. That means in this current birth, the confluence aged Brahmin birth, I am a master of the self, meaning master of my own senses, master of my own body, right? So self sovereignty. And then in my future births, which is golden and silver age, I will be the master of the world. Godly children become the masters, Baba says. Brahmin soul means souls who are masters. So this is the answer to the first question, right? Brahmin souls means souls who are masters. At present, you are the masters of all the sense organs. All the sense organs includes physical senses, the five senses, but also the subtle senses, right? Mind, intellect, and sanskars. Baba says you're not souls who are dependent. Hmm? You are the ones who have a right. That is to say, you are the masters. जैसे बच्चा होता है, right? उसको right होता है. He has a right to the father's property, like that. You are not under the influence of the physical organs. This is why you are the children who are the masters. You experience the godly intoxication of being a child, and you also experience the intoxication of being a self sovereigner, right? So, double intoxication. Hmm? So, निश्चय का नशा और नशे की खुशी. Yeah, ऐसे कहावत है, right? So, Baba is saying when you have this intoxication that I am God's child and I am a self sovereigner, so you have double intoxication. The sign of intoxication is imperishable spiritual happiness. So underline this point. In the moment when I feel unhappy, that means I've lost the intoxication. And the reason for losing the intoxication is basically losing the awareness of who I am and who do I belong to, right? So I have to remember these two things. Baba says, the sign of intoxication is imperishable spiritual happiness. Do you constantly experience yourselves to be the souls out of the whole world who have the fortune of happiness? Vah, my elevated fortune. That is my elevated luck. You have the fortune of happiness and you constantly eat the nourishment of happiness and feed it to others as well. Fortune of happiness, nourishment of happiness, and together with that, you always swing in the swing of happiness. So, what is happiness? It is fortune, it is also nourishment, and it is also a swing in which I swing. Baba says, you give others the great donation of happiness and create their fortune of happiness. In the same way, have you made your life as invaluable as a diamond, or are you still making it that? Have you already made it, or is it still being made now? Brahman life means to stay in happiness, to eat the nourishment of happiness, and to stay in the swing of happiness. Right? इसलिए कहते हैं ना, ब्राह्मण जीवन मौजों की जीवन है. अगर संगम पर मौज का अनुभव नहीं किया, if I don't experience that happiness on the conference age, then when will I? This is the starting point, right? This is my first birth. So if I don't experience now, how can I say that I will experience in my last birth, right? So Baba says Brahman life means to stay in happiness, to eat the nourishment of happiness, and to stay in the swing of happiness. You are such Brahmins, are you not? What is there in life apart from happiness? Your life itself is happiness. If you do not have happiness, then Baba is using strong, strong words. He says you do not have a Brahmin life. A few days back in Sakar Murli, he said, they say they are BKs, but they're not real BKs, right? So that means if I say myself as a BK, if I put that in front of my name, then I owe this responsibility, right? I have to experience that happiness. Baba says, to remain happy is to live a life worth living. Is it like that? Today, Babdada was seeing the account of charity of all the children. And so from here onwards, the whole next two paragraphs is just about charity. Because all of you are charitable souls. You are accumulating an account of charity for innumerable births. How much charity did you accumulate throughout the whole day? You yourselves can check this, can you not? There is this Sufi saying, right? मंदिरों में इतनी भीड़ क्यों है? Why is there so much crowd at the temples, at the mosque, at the melas? Is because everybody knows their karma is right, and they want to clear it, right? And similarly, within Brahmins also, we understand what karmas we have done. And so Baba says, you can check this for yourself, can you not? One is to give a donation, and the other is to perform charity. So एक है दान देना और दूसरा है पुण्य करना. Which is more elevated? Without seeing the Murli. Should I lower the volume? Sorry, I just saw this message.
No, Tina, it's fine.
Okay. So, which is more elevated, donation or charity? Huh? Okay, charity, right. True. Baba says, क्योंकि दान देते हैं ना, charity तो दिल से करते हैं. So he will explain. One is to give a donation and the other is to perform charity. Charity has greater importance than a donation. An act of charity is an act of altruistic service. An act of charity is not superficial, but it is done from your heart. A donation can either be superficial or from your heart, right? Donation, if you do, you want your name on the temple plate or on the wall, so then there is little bit artificiality or little bit selfishness involved there. Baba says an act of charity is an act in which you become cooperative with souls at a time of need. That is, you are useful to them. A soul who performs charitable actions receives blessings from the hearts of many souls. They don't just say thanks with their lips, but the attainments of blessings from their hearts are accumulated in an incognito way. You won't even know, right? Somebody does something for you and they might not directly come and tell you thank you for what you did or what you said or what you uh, behaved, how, whatever, but they would just from their heart give thanks to you, say, give blessings to you. So that's incognito. A charitable soul overflows with the instant fruit he receives from God's blessings and blessings from souls. The vision and the attitude of a charitable soul gives others the experience of blessings. Right? That's why मंदिरों में जाते हैं, नजर से निहाल करने का concept. It came because of this, because we gave that experience of blessings to others. The sparkle of satisfaction and contentment is constantly visible on the face of a charitable soul. Because of the fruit he has claimed, a charitable soul constantly is constantly beyond arrogance and insult. Because that soul is an emperor who is overflowing. So if I have enough, right, then there is no feeling of insult, but there is no feeling of arrogance also. It's only in that middle phase, when you're not very at the top, when you're not very much at the down, when we are in the middle phase, that's when we are influenced, right? That's when there is arrogance or insult. But You see people who are at very high positions or sometimes a topmost scientist or researchers, they are very humble, right? They don't feel these kinds of things. So Baba is saying this is also one of the signs why you would be constantly beyond arrogance and insult is because you're overflowing. The soul is like an emperor who is overflowing. He is a carefree emperor beyond arrogance and insult. A charitable soul uses the power of his charity in his every thought, at every moment of upheaval, and in every action in a worthwhile way. Every thought, every moment, and every action would be performed in a way that would be worthwhile. The sign of the account of charity accumulating is that waste finishes. So, no wastage of any kind, physical level or at the spiritual, more subtle level, at the level of thoughts. So, the sign of the account of charity accumulating is that waste finishes. Such a charitable soul claims the throne of the kingdom of the world. So, such a charitable soul. So, जितना पुण्य जमा होगा उतना ही बेहद की बादशाही मिलेगी. So check your account. To what extent have I become such a charitable soul? If you are asked, are you all charitable souls? All of you would reply, Hanji. Would you not? All of you are charitable souls, but Baba says number wise. Or are all of you number one? You are number wise, are you not? How many will sit on the throne in the golden and silver ages? Will everyone sit on it together? So all are number wise, are they not? Why is the number created? What is the reason? Babdada especially checked one special aspect of the children. Hmm? That one thing becomes a hindrance to your becoming number one. It's just this one little thing. It's very, what do you say, interesting, the point that he's going to bring up. So Baba says, now, during the year of tapasya, is everyone's aim to become complete or is it to become number wise? Now, you wish to become complete, do you not? All of you speak one slogan and you also write it and display it. That slogan is give happiness and take happiness, right? Sukh do or sukh lo. Don't give sorrow and don't take sorrow. This slogan is firm, right? So, what is the result that Baba saw? Right? So, Baba teaches us not to give sorrow, but also not to take sorrow. It's very important to remember the whole slogan. But see what Baba is saying. What is the result that Baba saw? Everyone pays attention to not giving sorrow. However, only half the slogan is okay. That means my children are okay in following half the slogan. You get it, right? Only half the slogan is. In terms of giving, you think that you should not give. But when it comes to taking, you say, that one gave me sorrow. That is why this happened. That one said this, and this one did that, and that is why this is what happened. So Baba is saying you give all these excuses, right? Blame game starts. You make a judgment in this way, do you not? You become your own lawyer and present your case with these things. So you pay attention to half the slogan well. You should underline it even more. So Baba says at least there is attention paid to half the slogan. However, the attention paid to the other half slogan is in name only. Name only means कहने के लिए कहते हैं पर उसको follow नहीं करते हैं. तो I will say कि सुख लेना है, सुख देना है. I have to give happiness, I have to receive happiness. But I'm not able to receive happiness because I take sorrow, I take insult, I take the blame, whatever it is, right? Whatever you take. But I'm not able to take happiness in that moment. You might know that story of Buddha where a man comes and says all nasty things to Buddha. And Buddha is very quiet and in his form of tapasya, he's just sitting, says nothing, reacts Nothing. So then the man is so arrogant, he goes close to his ears and says, "Did you hear what I said?" And Buddha says, "Yes, I did, but I did not accept, as nothing is useful to me. So everything belongs to you, whatever you said. It's like that. So Buddha did not take any sorrow. So that's what we have to practice. If somebody is giving us something, we should not take it if it is not useful to us. And that's where Baba is bringing our attention that the attention paid to the other half slogan is in name only. That one gave sorrow, but why did you accept it? Who told you to accept it? Is it Baba's Shrimat to take sorrow? Is it Baba's Shrimat to fill your apron with sorrow? So don't give sorrow and don't take sorrow. Only then will you become a charitable soul. Very, very important line, that if I am not giving sorrow, but I am taking sorrow, I cannot call myself as a charitable soul. It is only when I don't give sorrow and I don't take sorrow that I can call myself as a charitable soul. So Baba says, only then will you become a tapasvi soul. To be a tapasvi means transformation. Because, when you take sorrow, your mind is not at rest. And when your mind is not at rest, you cannot rest it on Baba. You cannot be in Manmanabhav state. And so it's very hard to remember Baba. And if you don't remember Baba, then there is no transformation, right? And so that's why Baba is saying it's all connected, right? That it's only when I become a charitable soul, I will be able to be a tapasvi soul. And a tapasvi means transformation. Therefore, accept the sorrow they give you in the form of happiness. So you mold it and say, "Ha, isme bhi mera kalyan hai. I have to learn something out of this. They're teaching me this. They're bringing this transformation. They're bringing this quality out of me." So, you kind of transform it. Bring about transformation, and only then will you be called a tapasvi. Baba says, consider defamation to be praise. Then you will be called a charitable soul. Mother Jagdamba always made this lesson firm for all the children. See the souls who insult you and give you sorrow with the vision of being an embodiment of mercy. Just say sometimes when somebody is drunk, if somebody is drunk and they behave inappropriately, would you have anger on them or would you have mercy on them? You would have mercy on them because they are under the influence of alcohol, right, at that time. So even if you scold them or shout them or tell something, they're not going to understand. But you just have to have mercy and help them. And so this is exactly what we have to do when somebody is defaming us, insulting us. They are under the influence of the vices, the algae, right? And when somebody is under the influence of algae, the best thing you can do is have mercy on them. And so this is what Mama is teaching us, that have that vision of being an embodiment of mercy. Don't see them with the vision of defamation. They may insult you, but you must offer them flowers. Then you will be called a charitable soul. Embrace with your heart those who insult you. Don't embrace them superficially, but with your heart and through your mind. So, this is the aspect that becomes an obstacle in your being able to accumulate in the account of charity. What is the obstacle? That I don't give sorrow, but I take sorrow. And when I take sorrow, then my vision towards them changes. If somebody gives me sorrow, obviously I won't be able to have very elevated vision, right? But if I don't take sorrow, then I can have vision of mercy. So this is what Baba says becomes an obstacle. So Baba says, I must not give sorrow, I must not give it, but I must not take it either. Since it is not anything good, why do you accept the rubbish and accumulate it? When you accept sorrow, you accumulate rubbish. What will emerge from the rubbish? So you should think, if somebody is giving sorrow and you take it, you should think that you just brought in garbage inside your house. Would you bring garbage inside your house? No, never, right? And so tell yourself that I'm not going to take this rubbish, not going to accept it, right? So, but if you do, then what will emerge from the rubbish? Germs in the form of traces of sin. If I take sorrow, then I will end up giving sorrow to somebody, right? If I take sorrow, then my heart is not very clean. My chit is not clean. And so I will not have very good thoughts for them. I will not have elevated feelings for them. So this is also sin, no? So those are traces of sin that will be performed. So Baba says, you don't commit big sins. Now traces of sin remain. However, there shouldn't be even a trace. Many children say very sweet things to Baba. Everyone has a heart-to-heart conversation and says very sweet things. One slogan has become firm for everyone. We didn't want it to happen, but it happened. If you did not want it to happen, who else wanted it to happen that you say it happened? Is there any other soul? Now, it should not happen, but it happens. Who is saying this? Is some other soul saying this, or are you saying it? You will not prove your tapasya because of these things, right? This is also a sign of being a slave, right? When I don't want something, but I end up doing it, that means there is no mastery over my senses, right? And so Baba is saying you will not be able to prove your tapasya because of these things. That which should not happen, that which should not be done, for it not to happen and not be done is the sign of a charitable soul. Hmm. Babdada receives such stories from many children every day. When they speak, they tell the story in such an interesting way that one keeps listening. Some of you have the habit of creating long stories and others tell short stories, but you do tell many stories. Today, it is the last dip of this year's meeting. All of you have come for a dip, have you not? Because it's a mela, right? मधुबन में मेला होता है आत्मा परमात्मा का जिसमें we go to the dip on the path of devotion too. When they take a last dip, they definitely have one thought or another. So when they take a dip in the Ganges, they might take 7 times or 3 times, and the third time when they take, or the seventh time when they take the last dip, they create a determination for something. So they either sacrifice something or they have some selfish motive. They have both types of thoughts. During the year of tapasya, have the thought throughout the day, through my thoughts, through my words, and through my deeds, I will be a charitable soul and perform charity. So today is holy, right? I was thinking this last dip could be like burning this weakness of not taking sorrow. I will not take sorrow henceforth. I I create that promise, right? And I put it into the fire. But also, Baba is saying, have the thought that throughout the day, through my thoughts, through my words, and through my deeds, I will be a charitable soul and perform charity. पुण्य आत्मा बनेंगे और पुण्य करते रहेंगे सारा दिन संकल्पों से वचन से और कर्म से You were just told about the sign of charity. The instant fruit of charity is that blessings are received from every soul and charity is accumulated in every thought. Blessings are accumulated through your words and thanks from everyone's heart should emerge for your cooperation to your relationships and connections. This is called tapasya. So when I become a charitable soul and I perform charity, then everyone's heart will be full of thanks for the cooperation that I give them. And that is tapasya's new definition. Such tapasya will become the basis for world transformation. You will receive a prize with such a result. So don't tell any stories about what happened. Actually, all the teachers should claim the first prize. Together with that, the Madhuban residents should also claim it. Why is that? The wave of Madhuban and the wave of instrument teachers easily reaches those in the household and the godly students. So Baba says all of you will claim a number ahead anyway. Now it will be seen whose names come up for the prize. Will it be the names of the teachers, or would it be the Madhuban residents or godly students? I'm going to skip this little bit paragraph where Baba is just talking about, you know, double foreigners and then Dadiji, and he's very happy to see their enthusiasm. So let's see Baba's remembrance. To all the elevated souls who are children and so masters, Balak so Malik, to the charitable souls who constantly accumulate charity in every step, to the special souls who are constantly seated on the heart throne and have a right to the throne of the world, to the souls who are master oceans of happiness and they constantly give happiness and take happiness, to the children who are master bestowers and constantly remain happy and give happiness to everyone, Bapdada's love, remembrances, and namaste. And we children also say namaste to our beloved Baba. Okay, so I think I will end here and I'm going to share my last screen, which is the essence. This is charitable soul, right? Charitable soul is an altruistic server. They do everything from heart. They embrace even the ones who defame from heart, nothing superficial. They are cooperative at the time of need. They receive incognito blessings. Their vision and attitude gives the experience of blessings. Their face always sparkles with contentment. They remain beyond influences, right? Arrogance or insult. They are carefree, constantly overflowing emperors. There will be no waste, and therefore they will claim the throne of the kingdom. They will look at defamation also as praise. They will accumulate always. So those of you who take notes, right? Sure, you have more points than this. try to summarize. But really, what Baba is saying in today's Murli is that we are Balak, so Malik, and so we have this double intoxication, which brings us imperishable happiness. And this happiness then becomes the source of becoming a charitable soul. Because if I am happy, I will be able to give happiness to others. Yesterday also Baba said to the भाग्य कैसे बनता है? How is, can I stop screen? Can I stop share? Or we can take a moment of silence and then discuss, right?
Om Shanti. We can now unmute ourselves and share the points of the Murli.
If you don't have a question, I have a question. भाग्य कैसे बनता है? How is fortune created?
Can I give an attempt?
Yes, of course. Just
Bhagya,
one word. Just say like in words. You can say 3 words, 4 words, whatever, but in just words.
by giving, by contributing, and by being of service.
By being service, yes. Very good. What else?
The love that you put in giving.
The love that you put in giving. Okay. So 3 things, huh? 3 things are needed. One is yad, of course, Baba's remembrance. Your fortune will be elevated. Second is karma, and in which seva also comes, like Rakib and you said, when you give, when you do things. So that is like doing seva or karma, basically. Everything will be included in that majority of our services. And the third is tyag. Tyag se bhi bhagya banta hai, right? Yesterday's Murli Baba said, to the extent you have elevated fortune, you have elevated renunciation. So tyag se bhi bhagya banta hai. Anyway, that was just a point I remembered.
Sister, could you repeat again? You said Tyag, Seva, and what was the third one?
याद. First is याद is बाबा को जितना याद करेंगे उतना भाग्य बनता है. Second is सेवा में कर्म भी आ गया. कर्मणा सेवा बोलो, जो भी आप अच्छे कर्म करते हैं, everything is included in that सेवा. And then third is त्याग.
Got it. Thank you.
Charity, the more donation that you give, at least in the Lokik world, I think that is what they believe. The more charity and the more donation that you do in your life, the more elevated is your fortune in the future, either in this birth or next birth, something like that. I'm not sure.
Yeah. But that charity, that donation and charity, Baba differentiates between them, right? Donation, when you do, there can be a little bit of selfishness attached to that. But in charity, there is no selfishness at all.
Sister, can you please explain for my benefit what is actually the difference, the subtle difference between these two?
So,
Charity and
for
donation?
example, if in India, especially during at least my times, I don't know now, but when there was summertime, people used to keep water pots outside, and there would be a man standing, and he would just give water to people who were walking around, thirsty people, right? पानी पिलाना, जैसे कहते थे पुण्य का काम है, तो पानी के ऐसे मटके रखे होते थे, right? So there is no selfish motive in that कि मैं इसको पानी पिलाऊंगा तो ये मुझे, ऐसा कुछ नहीं था उसमें, right? But when you go to do donations, sometimes you can see people who give lot of donation to schools or to temples or to dharamshalas, but they want their name to be on the wall, right? कि इसने इतना इतना donate किया है. So that is little subtle difference between donation and charity. Your donation can be a charity as long as आपके एक हाथ से दिया हुआ दूसरे हाथ को भी ना पता चले. बाबा कहते हैं इतना इनकॉग्निटो अगर आपका दान है तो then it can go in the account of charity, right? So if you give in the yajna also and you tell 10 people, oh, I did this much or you give a house for Baba's service, or you give a land and then you tell everybody, so that is donation, but it's not necessarily charity. Charity means there is no desire for a return, but still you will get, because the law of karma is still working, so you would still get it, but you yourself is not desiring for anything. Did I explain okay, or I don't know?
No, you're right. Actually, absolutely right.
You got the difference, right?
Just a little more question I had to what you answered. So in normal way, we also say when we are doing charity, you should also look at, or when you're doing donation, you should also look at whom are you giving the donation, because you just put a point on whatever you do, वो karmic account तो बनता ही है. Like in Hindi we say कि आप दान भी उसको करो, पात्र देखकर दान करो. Does
Right.
it have any implication on being charitable and somebody who's donating? I'm just wanting to understand this.
नहीं, दान का महत्व है. It is not that donation has no significance. It definitely does have. Even if you give donation to the temple and you want your name on the wall, still Baba says next birth you will be a good, like you will have a good life. If you give donation to a school or university, next birth you will have good education. So that law of karma is working in that way also. But for us, Baba says, "Daan dekkar, patra dekkar daan dena chahiye," because our time is also invaluable, right, for us. So if you're giving knowledge to somebody who's not at all interested, then you're wasting your time. If you're putting your money into something that is not worthwhile, then you're wasting your resource. Money is also a resource, right? Money is also a energy. And so with money also, I have karmic account. If I waste money, then money will not stay with me. Same is with time, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely correct. You both of you are absolutely correct, because I agree with this, that daan patra dekkar ke daan dena chahiye, because like she correctly pointed out, that where we are directing our resources to, the charity that we do or donation, that also has a direct implication on my karma, right? My karmic accounts, or whatever I'm going to get in return. So yes, of course, it all boils down to the same essence, that who and where am I directing my energies to? Because like you correctly mentioned, it's a form of energy, right? I've earned money, I've spent my energy, and I've earned money. So money is also a form of energy. It's very important to see where it is going and whether or not it will be useful to them. So if I'm giving something to a beggar, okay, with a good intention, which is not of use to them, it's of no use. My charity is not a charity, in fact.
Hmm. Law of karma is a big, subtle, deep, very interesting philosophy. But yeah, for Baba's children, very straight out loud, you should not give your money directly to a beggar or anybody. You should put your money only in Baba's box, and once you put it in Baba's box, then period, full stop. ये नहीं सोचना अरे मैंने धन लगाया कहाँ सिस्टर ने कैसे यूज किया वो बहन ने कहाँ उसको खर्च किया no thought at all. Once you gave it, it's done. Now Baba will see and he will keep the account. I don't have to worry about any thought after that. That is charity. बट आपने दिया और फिर आपके संकल्प चल रहे हैं अच्छा मैंने इतना दिया और ये देखो कैसे वेस्ट कर रहे हैं ये देखो क्या कर रहे हैं तो you know so it's very subtle.
That's a very deep thought, sister, that you brought in, कि हम कर तो देते हैं फिर बाद में सोचते हैं. So that's going to be also having a different implication.
बिल्कुल नहीं सोचना चाहिए बस बाबा को दे दिया यज्ञ में
It is
गया बस full stop.
same also will go when you are giving something in a relationship, and then you say, okay, I'd given my time, I'd given my energy, but the person is not showing up, so I should stop giving. I think that is also somewhere we are making our own karma, that हमने तो दे दिया, and then we are expecting something to happen back. So I've just been just relating to this as well. It's not just just giving donation of money, but also when we are giving some good intentions,
Yeah,
good
yeah,
expectations from people, and that expectation doesn't get met, and we have our own thoughts and our own sankalp going on. कि मैंने तो
right.
इतना किया, सामने वाले ने किया नहीं. That
Yeah,
also.
if you do 7 days course for somebody, for example, उसमें आपने टाइम भी डाला, ज्ञान का धन भी दिया, और फिर वो बाद में कंटिन्यू नहीं करे, तो भी आपका एक भी संकल्प नहीं चलना चाहिए.
Correct.
It's okay. उस आत्मा को उतना ही लेना था. That soul needed only that much, and they took it, and that's enough for them. So you have to kind of, do it with lot of love, and then fruit की चिंता नहीं करनी है, जैसे बाबा कहते हैं.
Yeah. Thank you for this wonderful journey, sister.
Okay, then anybody else would like to share?
Om Shanti, sister.
Om Shanti.
In this Lokic world, when we do a seva for our dear and near ones, how could it be as a karma or what we can consider? Because we give whole of our life, but sometimes we don't get any essence out of that. And what do you feel at that time? Is it as a responsibility karma or what? As a what it should be
It
exactly?
depends on your awareness. One time when Dadi was here, and there is Brother Eric, he's the main coordinator for Canada. And he is in profession where he works with media. I think he's a journalist, if I'm correct. And he was a little bit, concerned that his lot of time goes into work and all of that. And Dadi just pulled him close and said, "You are on the service field. That is your service field." So if you're a housewife or whatever you do for your logics, if you think deep in your heart that I am here on service, this is my field of service. Baba has kept me to serve these Baba's children. So then your attitude, your awareness will help you to only accumulate. You will not feel that, oh, I'm wasting my time, or because no, there is no other way for them to get God's sustenance. Like I work in a research lab, and for the longest time period I used to struggle, why am I here? Then somebody told me that scientists, these people, these professors are never going to come to Baba's center. So how is Baba going to touch them? It's through you. So then I realized that that is true for each and every one of us. Even if you're a housewife and your lokiks are not in Gyan, how are they going to get the benefit of Baba's sustenance? Through you, right? And so you are there for a reason. You're not there just ऐसे ही टाइम पास के लिए नहीं हो आप वहाँ पर. Baba has a plan for you, and Baba wants you to serve in that area, in that home, in that space. So you have to then play your role as an instrument and as a trustee of God.
Yeah, God. Yes. Thank you, sister. Thank you for
Sure.
this turning the thoughts.
Mhm.
Thank you, sister.
Thank you all of you for sharing. I think it's time to invite Tinaben to take up the meditation.
Yes. Okay, so just let's sit in silence and remember the beautiful fortune that I have received at the conference age. I am a Brahmin soul, the one who belongs to the elevated clan. My life is life of happiness and joy and bliss. I have full faith that I am God's child and I have a direct relationship with Baba. And in this intoxication, my heart is filled with love for one Baba. With so much love in my heart, I'm able to detach myself from everything of this physical world. And in 1 second, I move beyond the realms of this physical dimension. I reach the farthest land, the land of peace. And I come in front of the ocean of happiness. I find myself absorbing Baba's rays of happiness. Baba is ever happy. Even though he's looking at every scene of the drama, I never find him sad or taking sorrow. And so in this moment in front of Baba, I imbibe this godly sanskar within me. I become master ocean of happiness. I remember I am not an ordinary being. I have access to the treasure store. I have access to God Himself. There is nothing lacking. Whenever I need, I know Baba's support is there. Baba's company, Baba's presence allows me to always stay happy. So take this blessing from Baba. May you always remain happy. I allow the blessing to reach deep into my chit. The creator of fortune is creating my fortune. And so I swing in the swing of happiness. I experience myself to be seated on Baba's heart throne. And I become a carefree emperor. The Karan Karavan Har will take care of everything. I just have to be his instrument and allow him to use me the way he wants to use me. So offer yourself to Baba. Surrender yourself to Baba and let the magic happen. Filled with these rays of contentment and happiness, I gently return back to the physical dimension. And as I am returning, I can see different scenes of the world. I can see that every other soul is under the influence of vices, but I remain stable. I remain unaffected. I remain as an embodiment of happiness. And I bring this light of happiness to each soul that comes in my connection and my interactions. So gently allow yourself to return to the center of the forehead. And remind yourself of the determination, the powerful thought that throughout the day, through every thought, every word, and every action, I shall only perform charity. So I will claim the title of being a charitable soul. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti. Thank you, Tina Ben, for the lovely meditation commentary. Thank you, all of you. See you tomorrow at the same time. Wish you a very happy Holi and have a joyous day. joyful day.
Om Shanti. Thank you so much, everyone. It was wonderful. Thank you.